What's up, guys? My name's Lance. Welcome back. This is a portfolio update, and I'm also going to show you guys how much I made in the month of December with my Yield Max dividends. I'm also going to go over any updates to my plan on how I plan to retire and get out of Yield Max at some point, but the goal's pretty much still the same. So last time we had 1,400 shares of Misty and 400 shares of YMAX. You know, with MicroStrategy getting inducted into the NASDAQ 100, I wasn't sure when Misty would drop below 30 again. I mean, it did within, a few weeks, of course. I think it went down to 27. I bought it 29, I believe. So my dollar cost average is still 28.49. But Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, I think it's taken off. I think it's going to be the future. I don't know when, but I think soon. And I think, I'm gonna, instead of buying Palantir and SoFi and PayPal and much other single stocks like that, I think I'm just gonna buy Bitcoin, honestly. Right now we're sitting with 2,000 shares of Misty, 1,500 of Nvidia, Tesla, and Coney, and then 750 of YMAX. The goal was to, at the end of last year, to stop putting money into Yield Max and then taking everything I make from Yield Max and putting it into other weekly paying ETFs that are more stable and less volatile, so we can make some stable money. So I've had a few comments of people saying, you should go in all in on Misty. Anything else is just overkill. And I get that Misty's the biggest payer, and why would you not just put your money into that? But with me using like 100% of margin and my accounts, growing exponentially faster, but it's also super dangerous. And with this past December, like I wasn't sure how dangerous that was until I got down to about $8,000 before I had a margin call. And it's no big deal. I try to take my emotions out of it. I understand these accounts these funds are gonna fluctuate like crazy. So I understand I'm gonna have a lot of good days and a lot of bad days. But we consider those buying days, right? When they're down, we try to buy it up. So if I were all in on Misty using 100% margin, when it went from 41 to 27.50, I would have been screwed. Like, I would have definitely been in a margin call. Having Nvidia, even though it just paid out 89 cents, I can't be mad at that. I always talk shit about it should pay out less and raise the NAV. I just don't want it to pay out less and not raise the NAV. But yeah, Nvidia, when it was going down, Nvidia didn't go below what, $22, $21. It stayed up. It only dropped a few bucks, and it kept my account relatively stable. Coney and Tesla, I didn't think Tesla would drop that hard, but I think they'll bounce back. I was supposed to stop on December 31st, putting into Yield Max and then transfer everything into Roundhill funds, but I think I want 2,000 shares of YMAX. I like YMAX a lot because it's a weekly paying fund, and also they have the ability to pull funds out. So if something does a reverse split, or like just starting to suck, like they could pull out that fund and put something else in YMAX. It's easier to manage, I guess, to manage the losses with YMAX or whatever. I don't know. I like YMAX, so I'm going to make sure I have 2,000 shares of that, and so I should have that by the end of January. I believe I should be okay. And then at the end of January, I should be using about 90,000 of margin around there, and I don't plan on going over that, but I'm going to start funneling my money into, Roundhill, QDTE, XDTE, RDTE, and YBTC. I like those funds. I'm showing, the MAG-X here, the double leverage fund for Roundhill, because when I actually start doing options, they've got some pretty good premiums on that. Any double leverage fund has good premiums, but I like that one. So starting February 1st, all my money that I get from Yield Max will be going right into, I don't know what I want to start with first. I'll probably start with QDTE, honestly. But XDTE has been looking real good. It's been looking real stable. And, I think, I wanted to put 4,000 shares, or get it up to 4,000 shares of QDTE and RDTE. And then starting January 1st, 2027, the 6 months I take before I move, I was just going to allocate that money into like YBTC, XDTE, and other funds. I'm looking like, it's looking like I don't even want to put my money into Defiance anymore. Or Neos funds. I think I'm going to go to Rex shares. I think SEPI, FEPI, and AIPI. I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about those funds, and I kind of want to invest in those funds, I think. for some more, stable income. But after that, once, I get moved and I've got my money saved and I've got a decent amount, to where I can live off of. The goal is like, 20 grand a month, live off 5 and then invest half and then save the other half or save the other 25% for taxes. That's the goal. So still live below my means and so I can keep stacking. But eventually, I don't want to buy Palantir anymore. I don't want to buy any of this stuff. I just want Bitcoin. With the government buying it, MicroStrategy is buying the shit out of it, a bunch of other big companies buying the hell out of it and being quiet about it. Like, I don't want to miss out on the ride. So, I'm going to start buying it. Maybe it'll dip back down to 60,000. That would be incredible. I would just, instead of putting my money into Roundhill, I would just kind of funnel it into that for a little bit until it took off again. And then, but, there's already 19.5 million Bitcoin mined already. And there's only 21 billion million Bitcoin, whatever. So we're getting close to the end of how much we can. And so, once you have a certain defined number, I feel like the price of that's going to go crazy. Then, I don't want to miss that ride. Anyways, let's check out what we made for December, shall we? All right, so count. Let's go to history. Type dividends, search. All right, so starting December 2nd, let's get out our handy dandy calculator. It's a whoosie, it's a whatsy, it's a fugazi, it's a fugazi, right? Nobody knows anything. Okay, so December 2nd, let's see here, we got paid from WiMAX and Tesla. So let's add this up real quick. And then December 6th, we got paid from WiMAX again and NVIDIA. Sorry, we got paid from NVIDIA and WiMAX. All right, so moving on to December 13th, of course, WiMAX again, and then Coney. So, all right, December 20th, that's Misty and WiMAX. So another big payout. I think it was $3 for Misty, 3 something. And that was, I believe, with 1,400 shares. So, all right, and the last payment was from Tesla and WiMAX. So we got 97.92 from WiMAX and 19.29 from Tesla. So for the month of December, we made $12,370. Let's see what we made in the month of November, huh? All right, cool. So in October, we made $6,856. November, we made $11,079.51. And then December, we made $12,370.28. So I think for me, I'm going to continue with this plan of having 2,000 shares of WiMAX and Misty, and then 1,500 shares of NVIDIA, Coney, and Tesla, and just funneling all that money into Roundhill. And I think I'm going to do that for the next 4 years while Trump's in office. I think after that, what I might do for yield max, since I don't really want to rely on all of these funds for income, I'm just building a machine to make me a ton of money, right? This machine is probably going to break at some point because of the amount of money it's giving out. Who knows, right? If it doesn't, that's awesome. The people that got in early were living large with all the massive dividends, But I think WiMAX is probably the safest out of all these funds. And so at the end of the 4 years, I think I might just sell out of Misty, NVIDIA, Tesla, and Coney and just put it all into WiMAX, or split it between WiMAX and WiMag and just do that. And so, that'll definitely lower my amount of money I'm getting if I'm still getting paid the same, but it'll be safer, it'll make my little heart easy to sleep, or it'll be, I won't have to worry at night pulling money out, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so we're at 75,000. I thought I was gonna hit 100K, but being new to the stock market, just finding out that, the tax cuts, the tax loss deductions happen at the end of the year. I found that out, so that was cool to know. So for next year, I'll know. So September, so what I've gathered, September and the end of December is the time to buy. That's usually when the stock market is the most in the dumps. But yeah, my name's Lance. This is my update to my portfolio. I'm hoping other people like me can, see my journey and hopefully do what I do and get to retirement early, or just, you know, have a lot of income to where you're not struggling, and yeah, you're living the good life. So far, it's looking good. You know, it's going to be a crazy journey, but I'm excited to see it with other fellow YouTubers. I know people are doing this stuff just like me, and they're excited. Everybody else knows more than I do. I'm stupid, but I have some tenacity, so I'm gonna keep grinding. I'm gonna keep saving. I'm gonna keep living with my fucking mother. And my cat. I'm okay. I'll be fine. All right, let's see where we're at the end of January. The next update, you know, hopefully I'll try to do it in a week if things are good. You know, if I have the time. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. How much margin are you guys using? If you're using margin at all, is it scary? You know, what's your plan? Do you have an exit strategy for this? You know, I would like to have an exit strategy, and I think I have a decent one. You know, we'll see. You're either gonna see me, like I said before, make a ton of money in a short amount of time and then retire off $5 grand a month and just be happy, or you're gonna see me lose all my fucking money. I hope you guys had some good holidays. Hope you got a lot of Christmas gifts. Take care. Roll Tide.